from the studios of the Department of Communication in Phillipsburg. Welcome to Prime Minister Talks with Honorable Prime Minister Silveria Jacobs.
Hello and welcome to Prime Minister Talks. I am Silveria Jacobs. Today we are airing Season 2, Episode 6. Today I have a wonderful guest. There's been a lot of talk going on about the airport reconstruction, and I felt it pertinent that I bring some information to the general public from one of our own. And so as my guest here today, I have the project director who will be explaining exactly what is going on in regards to the reconstruction of our airport from his perspective as project director. Welcome to Prime Minister's Talk. We have with us Mirto Bril.
Good afternoon, good evening to you.
Yes, Mirto. So define for the people of St. Martin who you are, first of all, and what you're actually doing, your task, your current task at the Princess Juliana International Airport.
Okay. Well, my name is Mirto Bril. I'm actually a son of the soil. I have been working at the airport for the past since 2004. Started out as the quality manager. I'm now the project director for the reconstruction of the terminal building. Basically, I have been in aviation since 1985. I actually started out as a baggage handler, working with the ground services. I moved over, I was a pilot with Win Air, and now I'm working with the airport, and I'm very happy to be heading this project.
Okay, so there's an actual project team. Yes. So give us a little bit of an idea of who makes up that project team.
Well, the project team is about 10 of us. We actually are known as the project management unit. That's the team that is taking care of the reconstruction of the terminal. I would like to actually move forward before I explain the project management unit. We did have a project team that was there before that went through the design of the project. So we were sitting down and we got all of the stakeholders at the airport. We got all of their requests and we tried to enforce it into the design. That was made up of many of the airport personnel from different disciplines of the departments. The project management unit is now going to be there for the execution of the reconstruction. And we have now, we have persons internally, which is the project coordinators. Do you need names?
Okay. You can mention them.
Well, Damien Schmidt is one of them, Lavani Clark. And we also have an assistant project coordinator, which is Gerald Burnett. Our project secretary, also Shola Maduro. We also we brought in an environmental specialist. Her name is Michelle McNatt. A lot of experience with environmental projects along the World Bank spaces. We have a procurement officer, which is Mr. Anton Surmeyer, as well as the project controller who takes care of all the finances, which is Stephanie Van Elven. We also have a lot of assistance from Schiphol on this project as well, a lot of technical assistance.
But the persons from Schiphol are not part of the direct PMU?
No. We do have one that visits the PMU on and off. So when that person is on the island, they provide technical assistance, and that's also our liaison. If we need to have any back office assistance, they're also assisting us on those.
So the persons that you're mentioning right now that are part of the PMU, they are solely working on the project of the reconstruction and not other matters related to the airport?
They're 100% loaned out to the project.
Okay. So I think it's very important for the people of St. Martin to understand exactly what the team is made up of, who the team, who are the people on the team, and that St. Martin people are prominently featured there, and you as the project director as well, also a son of the soil. So in terms of, there's been talk out there, it's 3 years since the hurricane. Take us a bit into the timeline and where we see, because I know you've updated the Council of Ministers. Please update the general public as to the timeline of the reconstruction phases.
Well, we have been also doing a lot of public outreach campaigns because we realized that the information was not getting out there enough and folks were not quite involved in what we were doing with the project. So In our campaigns, we have reached out to many of the clubs, the different stakeholders, like the airlines, as well as the different communities on the island on where we were with the project. Since the design, in 2020, we started with the World Bank, where we actually went through all of the documentation that we needed for the World Bank. If you have ever worked with the World Bank, you understand it's a very tedious job, especially all the documentation just to get an approval to move forward with the next step.
Correct. And I think, let me interject right there. For those that would not know, normal World Bank procedures would take 12 to 18 months before the approval of even the designs to be able
Correct.
to move forward.
Correct.
So that's why you're mentioning 2020. That process didn't start in 2020. It actually ended in 2020 that the designs were finally approved.
Correct.
After going back and forth with the technical support of the World Bank to get the designs of the airport approved.
Approved, correct. And from there now, we have actually had to do some pre-works, because for us to be able to get that project ready for the construction to start, we needed to do some work where the mold remediation was one of the bigger projects, where we actually cleaned out the terminal. We remove all of the mold, all of the designs, all of the metals, the corrosion throughout the building that was not going to be part of the new design. We had to get them out, which we also was able to take off islands, so nothing ended up in the landfill. But for us to be able to do that, we actually also needed to, no one was able to come to the island unless we want, because COVID really played an extremely vital role in how we had to go about getting all of those bids out. So we did the mold remediation, we did the waste disposal, and we also was able to get a supervising engineer contracted to come down and also carry out some work. They should be starting in, I believe it's next month. They should be on the island for them to start with the construction as well.
Okay, so for the people of St. Martin, we're gonna go into a break within the next few seconds, but we'll be coming right back and jumping right back into the topic of the timelines and where we are right now with the construction, as well as what has been achieved thus far. Stay tuned, this is Prime Minister Talks. I'm Silveria Jacobs. See you in a little bit.
Prime Minister Talks with Honorable Prime Minister Silveria Jacobs.
Safely riding the school bus amidst COVID-19. Make your school bus ride to and from school a safe and enjoyable one. While waiting at the bus stop, please maintain a social distance of at least 2 meters. Always wear your mask at the bus stop and while traveling on the school bus. Board and disembark the school bus one at a time. Give each other space and time to enter. Sit at the designated seats assigned by the bus driver. Family members from the same household should sit together in the bus. Remember, your safety is important to us. A safe bus saves lives. This message was brought to you by the Ministry of ECYS in collaboration with the Ministry of TIAT.
Prime Minister Talks with Honorable Prime Minister Silveria Jacobs.
Welcome back to Prime Minister Talks. You're here with Silveria Jacobs as Prime Minister of St. Martin, and I have with me the Project Director of the Project Management Unit of the reconstruction of the Princess Juliana International Airport. Especially seeing the type of melee out there, let me just say it like that, I felt it important to ensure that I bring the facts to the people of St. Martin and from the source. So it's no he say, they say. So Mirto is here and he was just giving us some information about the timelines, working with the World Bank and getting the whole process started. And now we're moving on to a little more about what took place over the past year after the project was approved by the World Bank and where we are right now. Correct. So Mirto, enlighten us a little bit on that aspect of the reconstruction.
Well, I know everyone is very interested to find out when we're going to start the project. And the bids for the project actually went out last year, October, where we actually had to do a virtual meeting. because all of the contractors could not come to St. Martin's. We actually went out and we mapped the terminal so that we can be able to discuss all of this with the contractors, with the bidders, should I. We actually had some problems along the way because we expected the bids to come in January of 2021, but because of COVID, the contractors, should I use the word, the bidders had some issues receiving information from their suppliers. So because of that, they were not going to be able to make that 9th of January deadline that we had put down. So we extended the bid. We extended the bid over to the 9th of February. And in doing so, we also changed the way they were supposed to submit their bids. The intention was for them to actually travel to St. Martin and submit a closed envelope, a sealed envelope with their bids. That was now changed to a virtual, so they can email it encrypted, and they would also have to email their password to a different entity just to ensure we did not open it before the opening of the bids. That was going pretty good, but then a lot of questions was coming in because this is a considerably large project with all of the demolition works that need to be carried out, as well as all the construction and the new design. There was a lot of clarifications that needed to be done. We received close to 300 questions from the bidders on clarifications on what needed to be carried out, which now made us have to adjust how many time they would have to now incorporate our answers into their proposals. So we extended it again now to the 23rd of March. And we were very fortunate that we did not have too much questions that came in between that time. So we were able to meet the 23rd of March deadline, where we received 4 bids. And now those bids are in, where we're evaluating those bids. I think we've made it known who the bidders were and what the prices are. So we're now evaluating to see which one best fits what we expect to happen. The bids are now, the evaluation report has been sent to the World Bank, as I explained. Along every move, the World Bank needs to approve. We go to the other section. They want to make sure that everything is transparent. So the bid evaluation has been finalized, but it's not complete until the World Bank goes through to see if the one we're choosing is really justified. So they're going through all of those bids as well to verify that we're not leaning towards one bidder versus the other because of any issues. So that is being reviewed by the World Bank right now. And we expect to get that response from them in the next 2 weeks.
Well, that is extremely good news. In my recent meeting also with the World Bank and the steering committee, they did mention that everything was on par. And as we know, we do have to literally go on their schedule with their technicians when they evaluate any products that are necessary for us to move forward.
And one of the things I would like to just interject there also, because we had a supervision mission by the World Bank, a virtual supervision mission, where we had a whole week of meetings where they went through each aspect of the process that we were going through. And at the end, we were classified as satisfactory. Now, when you hear satisfactory, you say, that's it. But when you look at all the World Bank's projects, we're very happy that we got satisfactory because there's many of them that do not meet that criteria. So I think with the team and the work we're doing, I'm very proud of the work that we have been able to handle thus far. Knowing that this is the first World Bank project the airport has ever done, I think we're doing a marvelous job.
Yes, indeed. And as you mentioned in the beginning, most people want to know, as a result of this, you're expecting a World Bank to respond within 2 weeks. When will the construction start?
Well, that's a good question, and it's very difficult to answer for the World Bank. And even when we try and pressure our task force leaders at the World Bank on deadlines, they cannot give it because they are working on one level, and all of the documentation that we send in goes in through a committee. And you never know how much people are in those committees and where they send it and what lawyers and whatever is looking at those. And they come back with some of the weirdest questions that you need to go and clarify why you're doing certain things. So based on the timeline that we have right now, we expect to receive those evaluation reports back from the World Bank in the next 2 weeks, hopefully. After that, we will be able to let St. Martin know who we intend to award the contract to. At that point, we go through a 10-day standstill period where those bidders who did not get chosen have the opportunity to file a complaint. And we would need to justify why we chose the other over the next. Once we have been past the standstill period is when we can start the awarding. So in our timeline, we expect to have all of that completed by July. And in August, we expect the contractor to start the mobilization.
So the expectation is still as when we received the bids on March 23rd, that August would be the start date based on where we are now.
Yes.
So it's safe to say we're on par for our plans. Okay, I'm glad I didn't make a lie out myself saying this on the floor of Parliament, so thanks for corroborating that. You don't have to answer to the bosses. But I think it's important for the people of St. Martin to know the magnitude of the project. And I wanted to go into what the project will look like, the projected look of it. And I know you have some visuals. And so when we come back from our break, we will start out with that part. And then the people of St. Martin will get an idea of what our new airport terminal is expected to look like. You're watching PM Talks. I'm Sylveria Jacobs here with Milton Brill, my good friend from Princess Juliana International Airport and project director of the reconstruction project. So come back soon for more information.
Prime Minister Talks with Honorable Prime Minister Sylveria Jacobs.
All persons, even those who have received a COVID-19 vaccine, must continue to maintain physical distance, wear a mask to protect themselves and their communities, and thoroughly wash their hands. Patience is key and commitment is essential. The ability to keep each other safe and healthy is literally in our hands.
Hi, I took the vaccine. Ik ben gevaccineerd.
I took the vaccine.
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 I took the vaccine. Me vacuné. Vacúnate.
I took the vaccine.
Oui, j'ai pris le vaccin. I took the vaccine.
Moi prends un vaccin. I took the vaccine.
Be part of the solution. I will do my part.
Prime Minister Talks with Honorable Prime Minister Sylveria Jacobs.
Welcome back to Prime Minister Talks. I'm here with Mirto Brill of the Princess Juliana International Airport. He is a project director of the reconstruction and has been giving us some information. When we left off in the last segment, Mirto was telling us a little bit about what will be coming. And we're expecting it to start in August if all continues as it's going. And so Mirto, I want you to, I know we're going to show a bit of a video, so he'll be talking, you won't be seeing us, but definitely give a little bit of what they are going to be seeing on this video as to the projected design.
Well, let me start with some of the enhancements that we did on the building. The roof itself was reconstructed. We're making sure that it's hurricane-proof. It used to be not be able to withstand 185 miles per hour. It has been now strengthened to be able to withstand that. One of the issues we had in the terminal was the doors that were blown in. Those have been going to be strengthened as well to be able to withstand those hurricane winds. The panels will be changed, the facade of the airport will be changed, and as you come through the terminal, you'll see a different check-in hall. We'll have large flight information displays so you can see exactly your flight status. The wayfinders, the ones that we had before was the old yellow and green sticking out. Those are now going to be changed into very digital, high-class screens. We're going to have some backdrops along with kiosks. We had about 12 kiosks before. We're going to expand that to around 24 to 28. We're still doing a study right now because there's a good possibility that a lot of people are checking in on their phones, so we may not need as much kiosk. Backdrops, we're going to have about 14, and we're reducing the counters from 48 down to 22 because we have the kiosk and the backdrop and the online check-in that's going to be there. The Check-in counters has also been redesigned because we had a lot of meetings with a lot of our stakeholders where many of them had issues on how they would enter the back of the counters. The agents normally would stand on the scales to get in the back, and that would always throw the scales off. So now there's going to be more of a door. You can walk into the back of the counter and be able to work from there. We're also going touchless. Because of COVID, we're trying to make sure that most of the technologies that we bring into the design gives us that flexibility. So the kiosk, we're looking at going touchless. We're looking at the backdrop. Also, before you go up the stairs, we have the boarding pass readers. Those are going to be touchless all the way up to the departure. We have the screening machines are going to now be in front of the immigration, the outbound immigration. And that's going to be a state-of-the-art screening equipment. You don't have to take your water out. You don't have to take your laptops out. So it's going to be a process. It's going to be a little bit seamless as you're going through the screening. The e-gates are coming back. So again, touchless as you go through immigration. Only those without the chip in their passport will have to go through the normal segments. And as you get into the departure, it's going to be a whole different design. One of the big enhancements that we're looking at is the business class lounge, which is now going to be 2 stories. And there was always a request for showers in there, so we're also putting those in there. Escalators on your arrival. All the bridges are now going to have escalators. We only had 1 bridge that had an escalator, so all 3 will be outfitted as you go in down to the arrival. Automated border control is also going to be on arrival, those kiosks, so less people need to go through immigration and get processed. And as you get into the reclaim, we have also redone the belt system for enhanced security reasons. And as you leave, going out into the meet and greet area, you'll be passing customs as you go, and you'll be passing also now the car rentals. The car rentals were on the other side of the terminal, and they make the meet and greet area. We've now brought them closer to the reclaim because those are one of our stakeholders we wanted to be able to protect. And as you get out, you'll see a lot more concession areas is going to be also in this design. One of the biggest things also is the baggage sortation area, where if your bag overflew, you can always go and reclaim your bags, and instead of having to go on the inside to get it, it's going to be on the outside in the land area, the land side area, that is easier for you to be able to reclaim your bags. So quite a bit of enhancement that we will have in this new project.
Wow, and you see with the ease with which he can just go through that information and able to impart the work that you've been doing together with your project management unit.
And the project team that went through the design. They also did a big job in making sure the stakeholders, because we spoke with customs, we spoke with immigration, we spoke with the car rentals, we spoke with everyone that has anything to do with the airport, the airlines, to ensure that their concerns and their request was also incorporated into the design.
Right, so not only will you be having a new terminal, it's actually meeting the needs of all your current and future stakeholders.
That's the intention.
That's the intention, and I can't wait to see the actual construction happen. There's also some very good news. Oh, before I go into that, some of the questions that have come to us many times is, why would the cost be so high when you already have a shell of a building, you already have the roof, etc.? Can you give a short explanation about that?
Yes. With the redesign, we had the opportunity now to use better floor space, because we've been in the building for 15 years right now. So we have the opportunity now to make the changes that we always wanted to make and make the enhancements that is required. We are going to put in the escalators that I mentioned. We put in the elevators. We're putting in the business class lounge, which is going to be now 2 stories. And for us to be able to incorporate the business class lounge, we needed to strengthen some of the floor space. And all of that there is a lot of additional costs that was not anticipated. We're also looking at, we're going to be working in an operational building. Because now we're not while it's operational, we need to make sure that we can phase the passengers out of package 1, where we are right now, into the new location. So all of those security measures and enhancements need to be done at the same time.
Okay, so I think that's a better explanation. But of course, I know that you also have your own platform, and that's where I was going as we wrap up this interview. As part of your public outreach program, your corporate communication department has launched a monthly TV show. So the people of St. Martin, I would like you to, rebuild, recover, reinvent. Tell us a little bit about that, where we can find it so that even more information can be shared.
Yeah, I'm actually supposed to be the next one that they're going to be featured on the television program. The first one had our COO and the CFO. And the next one, I'll be actually walking everyone through the terminal as I explain them the remediation work that was just carried out. And Audrey, our communications officer, she has it already prepared. It's going to be on our Facebook. It's going to be on our Instagram. It's going to be on our YouTube. So just look out for it, and we'll be able to get it out to all of the public.
Yes, indeed. I must say, I want to really thank you for being here. Our interview is quite short, as you can see, but I think you've shared quite some information, and I want to thank you for the hard work you're doing together with your team. I know I see Damien and Audrey in here, and I want to commend you all for the hard work you're doing. And I want to tell the people of St. Martin to tune in to that TV show, check your social media, you know Audrey, and you know the quality of her work, and definitely see what we will be gaining once this airport reconstruction continues. We're doing all we can to ensure that there are no more delays. Government is working together with the airport at all levels to ensure such, and we want to just let you know, tough times never last, but tough people do, and I must say the people at Princess Juliana International Airport are tough indeed. So, any last words from you?
Well, I thank you for having me on your program today. I was very happy I have the opportunity to let everyone know that we're not sleeping on a job. There's quite a lot of work. We've been able to accomplish quite a bit over the past, and there's so much more to go. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Mirto, and much success to you and the project management unit, that our airport will soon be up and running and that we will be able to see the fruits of your labor. This has been Prime Minister Talks. I'm Silveria Jacobs. And until next time, be safe. Don't forget, go out there and get vaccinated.